no balls fall. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Boomtown Grill Thursday out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, The Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. Do not be concerned. It's just rain. I know we don't know what that looks like, and I know it can be a little scary sometimes, but it's just rain.
It's like Christmas morning around here right now.
Everyone should be, a lot of times, and it's probably been years, but, there's times where it rains day after day after day, and it kind of gets gloomy. It's gloomy. It's dark outside, but everybody's attitude is wonderful. Instead of just like being down in the dumps like we live in Seattle or something when we do get rain.
It was like total opposite. You hear about seasonal depression, in the wintertime when
right.
What you said is happening. Like you get a lot of overcast and cold weather, and you gotta get kind of gloomy and blah.
Not today.
Someone
baby.
said it's vitamin D deficiency. Somebody told me that. That's what that is, part of it. But I was like, man, all this hot weather. Somebody told me this. I totally agree. Said, I'm just kind of depressed. I wake up every day. It's going to be 103 with heat advisories. It's like, yeah, it does kind of have that seasonal depression setting in. This is nice.
It's been a month-long heat advisory.
This is
nice. It seems
nice.
like. But it is nice. Not everybody, but most everybody really, from the panhandle of Texas, clear up to the panhandle of Oklahoma, down through all parts of getting a little rain maybe today. Maybe your house didn't get rain, or whoever's listening, but most everybody got some. We hope so too.
Now, want me to do, pardon the pun here, rain on your parade?
What?
Get ready for the steamy Friday we're going to have.
It's going to be nice. It ought to be nice this afternoon, even when it all gets out of here. Rain, cool air. We haven't felt that in a while here in Western Oklahoma. All right, today is high school football only. That's all we got on the docket. At the end of the show, we'll pick our state champions in each class. I've got to remember what I did on the preview show I was a part of so that I don't contradict myself. It's like filling out two brackets in the NCAA basketball tournament. Got to remember there. In the middle of the show, we'll talk 4A1. What are you looking forward to in 4A1? Kind of the storylines, I guess, within the district. How many teams do you think legitimately will be involved in the playoff chase? Who are some of the players of note, some of the players to watch within the district, and then how do you think the district will finish? I've got a lot of stuff written down. I still have not decided that question. That may be an on the fly as we talk through 4A1. We'll look at the preseason rankings from the Oklahoman in some classes they've all basically been released. Now, there is one class, Jared, that the firepower, at least when you look back to a year ago, the firepower is immense. And it may not be the one you're thinking. Just because, one of the storylines around the state of Oklahoma in football and high school football this year has been the different jumps or falls in classifications. All around.
There's been a shuffle.
There's been a big-time shuffle, and there's one class that has ended up loaded, at least when you look at the results from a year ago. So we'll do that. Kids, I know you're probably in school. You should be in school, but if you're listening, when Jared and I were your age, there was this phenomenon around the state of Oklahoma in high school football. If you had a big game, and I mean big-time game, more often than not, this thing would come out of the sky and land at your game. And it was the helicopter. And Bob Berry Jr. is the one. I think they probably all had one, but I definitely remember Bob Berry Jr. landing on practice fields in Elk City or Clinton multiple years through the mid to late 90s when that game, right here in 1996 football season over in Clinton in 97. I'm guessing there's no way they could have got to the game in 98 just because of the monsoon that was occurring on the field. So it probably would have. I don't remember him being there. I remember being there a couple of times.
He was at quite a few Clinton Weatherford games.
Right, Clinton Weatherford as well. So we'll go back in the Wayback Machine and pretend Jared and I have a Paragon or a Big Elk TV helicopter for tonight and tomorrow night. What three? And it seemed like he'd always go skip around to 2 or 3 places. Watch a quarter, watch a quarter, then have to get back for the the sports. So, what 3 places would you go tonight, and what 3 places would you go tomorrow night for week 0 of high school football? If we had the helicopter fired up out on the lawn here at the station. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We'll talk about any of those things, whatever else might be on your mind on this Boomtown Grill Thursday. Please chime in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area one of these days, want to stay in touch with the show, you can log on to kadsam.com, or you can download the app. Paragon app's got it all. It's free to download. It's got radio stations. It's got the Penny News. Brand new edition of the Penny News is out right now. If you got it outside, pull it in. Might get rained on for the first time in months. You can check that out through the app at thepennynews.com online. Of course, Big Elk TV on air tomorrow night with the season opener for Big Elk football. Also got the softball team up in Colorado. Paragon TV next week with the Merritt Oilers season opener. And the Skinny on Sports podcast available anywhere podcasts drop. How are you today, Jared Atha?
I'm good for obvious reasons.
It is nice. Maybe some of those, I don't know if it's rained enough to just completely make my lawn green, but it is amazing how much more rainwater will help the grass grow than just watering your lawn through the sprinklers.
Which was my plan tonight, was to get on the mower because it needed it in the first place. There's some spots where we had put the sprinklers on and looking kind of rough. So now it's nice to know I might be a little damp.
Maybe it'll rain you out and you get to go on Saturday.
I can't. I'm out of town all weekend, so tonight is my only option.
Tonight's it.
And then Katie plays
Monday
every day next week except Wednesday.
Ooh, you may be a whole week.
So I need to. Maybe I just wait and let this rain do what it needs to do, and then mow. Maybe mow on Wednesday. Well, we practice on Wednesday. I'll figure it out. So it's going to have to be tonight. What a good problem to have.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so let's look at some preseason rankings. Oklahomans come out with all classes throughout. People are interested in the bigger classes, but not necessarily. So I'll start in 4A with what I wrote down at least. Defending champion Tuttle number 1, Broken Bows number 2, Ardmore number 3. Then you got it's East Side centric, which is kind of a flip from maybe a decade ago. Ada's number 4, Salisaw 5, Cushing 6, Grove 7, Poto 8. The first, really, what I would call Western Oklahoma team is Weatherford number 9. Then Fort Gibson number 10. That's an interesting team because is that a ranking? They clearly know that Cooper Hackett is not going to play, the offensive lineman committed to OU. But they're still number 10. You find the next 4A1 team, Bethany, number 12. Clinton, 15. I would love to know how long it's been since the Red Tornadoes haven't been in a preseason top 10. It's had to have been a while.
A lot of unknowns with the coach. I'm told new offense. There's a lot of listeners yesterday. I had a couple of people text me their thoughts on high school football. Got a lot of opinions from one about Clinton, which I didn't know. So
they're interesting.
A lot of unknowns there.
Yeah, there is, and it could go normal. It could go pretty good, just with some.
Well, depending on who you ask. I mean, as far as standards are concerned, I mean,
Well, yeah. Well,
there are some fans, like every fan base has, like we should be winning every game and playing for a national title. There's fans like that in Clinton. We should be winning every game, win the district, and playing for a state title. But then there's some realistic fans. Well, first year, new coach. We'll see what happens.
I'm anxious to see what the numbers as Trevor Powers gets going, how the numbers maybe start to climb again.
That is one of the questions I asked, and we're going to go through this, so we'll jump on that topic. Let's stay on the top 10 stuff.
You got Elk City 18, then Cache 23, Woodward 24, Douglas is 26. That rounds out who's in the rankings, at least in 4A's District 1. To me, when you look at 4A, I think you have two teams, and then you draw a line with Tuttle and Broken Bow. You draw a line down, and then who from that, basically the rest of 4A, can move up into what I would call a true contender throughout the season.
Right. I agree. I think we both agreed even before this list came out, this preseason ranking came out, that it was Tuttle, Broken Bow, and then a big gap between the next one, whoever 3 is. Ardmore's interesting at 3. We saw them with our own eyes, saw their youth and speed and athleticism and knowing what they were going to bring back. We kind of thought on that long drive home, that's a team that could make some noise next year. And clearly the Oklahoman anyways feels that way. And then I always go to your, the Adas. They've been kind of hanging around. What are they like? I'm interested. Salsal seems high to me.
Yeah, Salsal's won at least 7 for a pretty good little stretch here, but the playoff success hasn't necessarily been there for what their regular season record has been.
So that's interesting. I'm struggling finding those rankings. I'm signed in.
It's on down. It's because it's further down.
Okay.
As you scroll through that, if you click that high school page, it's on further down.
Gotcha.
Cushing, I think Cushing at 6, I personally would have them higher going into the season. Maybe right behind Ardmore, or right there with Ardmore. To me, Ardmore and Cushing are the two most likely candidates to be able to be a true challenger to those top two, at least going into the season. With what we saw from Ardmore with the youth on that team a year ago, the athleticism on that team a year ago, I think that they're a likely candidate. And to me, Cushing's the next one, is at least going into the season. I don't know if anybody will actually get there to truly challenge those other two. When we talk about where we'd like to go, I'm just going to tell you, Graydon Howe fascinates me, the quarterback at Broken Bow. Like, if I had the keys to the chopper, I might just go wherever. I don't care who they're playing. I mean, he's that electric of an athlete. When you look at what he's done in football, I've seen him play basketball now for a couple years, I guess 3. Going into the senior year there at Washington, we always just happen to have times where I saw him play a few games basically every year. It just jumps off at you with the athleticism. He broke Lander's 400 record that has stood since 1998 at the 4A track meet in the 400. I know he's a really good baseball player. He's just the do-it-all type of kid that you really don't see in this era of specialization of high school athletes, junior high athletes. You don't see a guy like this very often. That's why he intrigues me. Committed to go play at OU. Could probably play in who knows how many different positions. I don't think quarterback is one of them.
No,
but you can see him as a defensive back, as a receiver, that kind of guy. He just, that team, and I know they got some move-ins from basically all points in McCurtain County. Valiant was one of the places where they got some guys, and they had some returning as well, not just him. So that they're the team that we kind of know what Tuttle is going to be year in, year out. They're going to be good. Just, are they state championship good? Are they make it to the finals and lose? You know what I'm saying? They're always going to be in the mix, I think, right now in Class 4A. But Broken Bow is the one, to me, that I can't wait to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And it could turn out, if that's the final, and that's sort of the weird thing about 4A, is the last 2 years it's felt like a collision course from the very beginning with Elgin and Tuttle.
Right.
It's felt like that's from the word go. Okay, that's going to be the state finals. 2 years ago, Elgin was able to. They started out handling Tuttle, and then Tuttle, to their credit, made that a heck of a game, which I didn't think was all that possible. with what Elgin had up front 2 years ago. I mean, in 4A football, you don't see 3 D1 signees very often on an offensive line.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, that was truly something that was special. Then last year, I think everybody sort of thought Tuttle might have the edge. Elgin made that a heck of a game until the very end. So those are 2 really good state title games the last 2 years in 4A. Elgin moves up. Now can Broken Bow, or I think Broken Bow, to start, it feels like that is a collision course for the state championship.
Yeah.
But will it be? Because of the bracket.
Tuttle 4A 2, Broken Bow 4A 4.
That's normally a semifinal.
That's right. That is right.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll have to look at that closely because I think they played in the semis last year, if I remember right. Or maybe they played Elgin. I'll look that up.
Kind of a shame. I mean, this should kind of that's a whole other conversation to have of seeding.
Yeah, it's just kind of
okay, your best team seeded 1, your 4th team out of district, whatever, that had the worst district record. I don't know.
Yeah, that was semifinals last year.
So everyone could look at that and go, that might be the game.
We thought that, we all thought that in 2022.
That's true.
With it at Elk City and Cushing, and then Wagner pulled off one of the biggest upsets of all time, beating that incredible Cushing team.
Turns out that semifinal game between Clinton and Elk City might have been the championship
that
game.
One, out of the district there too.
Yeah.
So that's sort of 4A. Looking down into the smaller classes with teams around A1, you got Mangum moving out of A2 this year up to A1. They come in at number 5 to start the season. Coach Powers does a heck of a job. I know they got a couple of really good receivers with Zeke Rogers, Curtis Henley. And back, when Wyatt played junior high football, they had a really good young quarterback. Hooker's number 7. That'll be sort of – so we got questions about what's going to happen at Clinton. And sort of the same thing in Hooker. What's life like after Trevor Powers? They still do have Justin Palacios in the backfield, which we've seen with our own eyes a couple of times. So that's going to be good.
Speaking of basketball courts,
they lost a ton off of that team last year. That last year was sort of the loaded up senior class, but Palacios is still there. He's got to have 5,000 or more all-purpose yards for his career going into his senior year and probably 1 million touchdowns. So I think we did that game up at Alva when he was a sophomore in 2024 when Hooker played for the state title, and he was already at like 3,300 then. That was without his junior year stacked in there. So they do have a workhorse there at Hooker in Class A1. A2, Thomas is number 3. But Tallahena, the defending state champion, is number 1, and they got a ton back. So that'll be, to me in that class, who can try to unseat Tallahena. You know what their mascot is?
Tallahena. Oh, Mustangs? No. No, I should know this.
The Golden Tigers.
Golden Tigers, okay.
The Golden Tigers, Tallahena.
It's a pretty good one.
But
Not just Tigers, but Golden Tigers.
The Golden Tigers.
I like that.
That's right. Everybody can be the Tigers. Not just everybody can be the Golden Tigers.
Right.
And then we get down to B1. And B1 is the class that I was talking about that is absolutely loaded when you look at what happened last year. So ranked number 1 is defending champion Dewars Dragons. They were the B1 champs. Laverne, the Tigers, always around. They were the B1 runner-up. Okay, so that's normal. Coming in at number 3, you got the Sealing Wildcats. They were B2 champs. So they move up from B2 to B1 to join Laverne and Dewar. The Cherokee Chiefs were B2 semifinalists. Matter of fact, that was the game that Gabe and I were up for at Alva, Sealing and Cherokee in one of those semifinals. So B2 semifinalist Cherokee is also in B1. Number 5 is Waleetka. Waleetka, B2 runner-up. So in the top 5 in B1 this year, you've got the B1 champ, the B1 runner-up from last year. You've also got the B2 champ and the B2 runner-up from last year.
Please give me that Final Four.
Along with Cherokee in the semis from B2. Caddo was a B1 quarterfinalist, and then Hollis moves up from B2 to B1. Or no, Hollis was always in B1. They were semifinalists as well. They're number 7. So that class is loaded. And you look around at B2, you're like, okay, where'd everybody go? Who's left to kind of compete?
Yeah.
So that one's pretty interesting. And that's why we find, talking about the movement, that's where you find Texoma in B2, who fell from A1 to B2. So that could be a pretty sweet spot for Texoma to fall to, with the numbers that you'd think they'd have to have playing 11-man football, now down to 8-man. So that may be something where their depth could be a huge advantage there in B2 this year. Getting questions on the text line about Jinx, South Lake Carroll. So
it's tonight, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to fire up the Big Elk TV helicopter, a la BBJ back in the 90s. We're going to take off. What 3 games are you going to tonight?
I'm trying to make sure that one game is tomorrow night, so I don't put it on tonight's list. Who do you got tonight? Start with you.
Oh yeah, Cotton Bowl, Jinx, South Lake Carroll. Question: how do we think Jinx will do? I think Jinx is, of the contenders in 6A1. Jinx has they may not have the best offensive lineman, but one of their guys just flipped his commitment to Oklahoma State yesterday.
Where was he committed?
Arkansas, maybe.
Okay, good for him. Stay in state.
Yeah, and they've got a few others up front. Jinx is really, really good. Jinx also got the running back from Lincoln Christian, C.J. Wright, is now a Trojan. Alex Dillard, who's going to Florida as a wide receiver / corner, is on that team. The quarterback's name is escaping me. I think this is I can't wait to see how Jinx does. You know, South Lake Carroll is the name you always know from Texas football for sure, but just how good is that version of the Dragons versus the Jinx Trojans tonight? That's why I want to be down there to watch a little bit of that. From there, I would fly and make a pit stop at Lawton, check out MacArthur and Weatherford just to see what the Eagles look like in their opening round, in their season opener. And I would end up in Jones, Oklahoma, to see the Longhorns head coach Jeremy Reed, which we're very familiar with out here. He coached at Altus. Their last state title was when he was there, changed the offense. His son, Jamin Reed, is going to be one of the highest-ranked quarterbacks in the 2029 class, probably in the country with the talent that he has. Jones, defending state champion. Lincoln Christian also defending state champion, but they fall from 3A to 2A1. So that's where I would end the night.
You took my 3, man.
Well, tonight's pretty easy.
But I would end in Dallas, though. I think I would start – I'm zigzagging here. I would start at Lawton Mac.
Okay.
To get a feel of what Weatherford's going to look like for obvious reasons, them in our district. And then I'd go up to Lincoln Christian and Jones to take in the Reed experience, and then I would end my day. Because I think of all 3 games, no offense to the other 2, but I think Jinx in South Lake Carroll and the Cotton Bowl might give us the most entertaining game that could give us some fireworks at the end. And I want to see the majority of that game. So that's where I would go tonight.
I think that game got moved to 7:30. I thought I saw that yesterday. The start time was
Good.
moved
then
to 7:30 in the Cotton Bowl.
Another reason, because I'll get more of the game when I get there. Yeah, good. And I did find where you could watch that, but you have to you could watch on a local news station's YouTube page.
Yeah, WFAA.
Yeah, exactly.
WFAA. I think
WFAA.
That's where I saw the time change.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Our resident Red Tornadoes agree. He is concurring with that.
With
that
what?
It is moving to 7:30.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Billy. Eyes on the road. He's been teaching people how to drive.
Scary proposition.
It was a little scary. I got behind him one day. Didn't know it. I don't want to knock his driving teaching abilities, but that car was all over the road, man. Well, I text him and go, because he was exiting right in the Canute, and they went to the quick stop. And I was like, "Are you in Canute?" Because yeah, he kind of made some comment.
Well, here's the deal. I've never actually ridden in the car with Billy, but if I was riding in the car with Billy, I think it'd be hard to pay attention to the road just because you'd be talking all the time, having great conversation.
Surely that car has, the brake over there on
his side.
On his side, like those drivers had cars had.
They always did. They always did when we were there.
Oh, he's doing good.
Where are you headed tomorrow night? Tomorrow
night, a lot of options for local reasons and stuff, but for what we're about to talk about coming up, I don't know if I can go in any order here. I would probably start with Mustang at Choctaw.
That's a good one.
I think Mustang is going to be a player this year in the D1, right? Or
6A1.
6A1 title chase. They got a lot of good players. So is Choctaw. I want to see if Bixby has reloaded or not, and them going up against Owasso, who a lot of people like Owasso too this year. I want to see that. And then I would end my night, and, when I think of the Boys of Fall and Kenny Chesney's song and small town Oklahoma, I'd go to Mangamat Thomas and watch those two. Those two teams are going to be good. And now they're both in different classes, but I'm glad they said, hey, how about we play our first game against each other?
Last 2 years has been for the A2 the district title in Class A2, and they've been phenomenal games with each team scoring late to win. Thomas 2 years ago. Last year, Mangum got a touchdown at the end to win that game. I'm there as well. That's funny you said that one. Owasso Bixby is for obvious reasons.
And it's been years since I've seen a game at Tom. I'm talking years.
I
haven't been there since they've done their improvements and all that.
I went to a playoff game. Might have been COVID year. Sarah was there. It was cold. It made me realize how soft I had gotten because I'm not used to having to layer up like that to watch a football game because we're normally in the.
I think they played like Cordell. Cordell was pretty good back then too, where they were competing, and they were in the same district. I think I went there, had an off night, went and checked it out.
I would do Owasso Bixby. I'd do Thomas and Mangum, and I would go to Stillwater. With Stillwater, who a lot of people like in 6A2, they got Fayetteville, Arkansas coming to town tomorrow night. So that would be the three.
The easy answer is some of these big schools,
right?
And they're like obviously Jinx, South Lake Carroll, that one you mentioned with Stillwater. And I like that. I like the intrastate matchups, which we'll get right here in Oak City, going over to Childress. But I still got to show some love for these smaller schools.
Yeah, there was I can't remember. It might be next week, and I should have looked for this one. Tallahena. It's talking about Tallahena and the favorite that they are.
Yeah.
They're playing the 3A defending state champion from Arkansas in their non-district.
Cool. Good.
But I can't remember if it's this week or next week. So that could be one with smaller schools as well. But yeah, Thomas and Mangum, for anybody that pays any attention to high school football out here, it's been such a huge, huge game the last 2 years, and it's been such a great game the last 2 years. It's hard to pass that one up. All right, when we come back, we'll shift our focus and narrow it on in to Class 4A's District 1. Kind of the storylines headed in, some players to watch. How many teams can make the playoffs legitimately, and who will make the playoffs? The district finish coming up next.
Looking for great food and a great night out? Head to Boomtown Bar and Grill in Elk City. You know the food is always top-notch at Boomtown, prepared just the way you like it. From hand-cut certified Angus steaks to specialty handcrafted pizzas, there's something for everyone. And the kitchen is open late. Make plans now for Saturday night and enjoy live music from Waylon Holly. Bring your friends, grab a table, and enjoy an evening of incredible food and live entertainment. Boomtown Bar and Grill in Elk City. Great food, great music, and a night you won't forget.
The Skinny on Sports.
Welcome back. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, The Sports Animal, hanging out here on a Boomtown Grill Thursday, talking high school football with the season starting week 0 tonight in certain locations. Tomorrow night, they'll get some games started as well. Thank you to Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main. It is 50-cent chicken wing Thursday at the Boomtown Grill. Fresh cut, fresh breaded, fried to golden perfection at the Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main. It's not just chicken wings, though. They've got great food menu. Got the live music coming up on Saturday. You'll hear that in the ads.
Really?
Waylon, golly, what's his last name? I'll listen to it. But that's coming up on Saturday. They've started to do that. Having some live music on Saturdays down there at the Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main. Boomtown is your football watching headquarters right here in Elk City. All right, so Class 4A1, it's obviously the focus here in town. Clinton, Weatherford, Woodward, down in Cache. It makes up a majority of that district, and each year get a couple of different schools from the metro area that come out into the district. This year it's Bethany and Douglas with John Marshall going independent. What are some of the storylines? What are some of the things that you're looking forward to finding out about 4A District 1 this year?
Well, we talked about it. We talked about off air a little bit. What's Clinton going to look like? New coach. That was a big storyline with the changeover in the off season and getting this young guy in who's had success and Powers who had success from Hooker and in the 1 year up at Liberal and it's a big job. It's a high pressure job. How does he handle it? A lot of intel thrown to me is that the numbers are reflecting like he's in the right direction. There's a lot of participation. There's a lot of anticipation. I think going into this season with what he's bringing, I personally want to see what that offense is going to look like. When you think Clinton, we think amazing running backs, I formation, run it right at you, just try to stop it. And from what I'm hearing, it's going to be a little bit of opposite, thrown around more modern, what we're seeing in the college and NFL level, more of a spread them out, throw it around, but I guarantee you they're still going to run it. So that's probably one of the biggest storylines there. And the next one is, what's this district look like? We're about to jump into that, but who are your playoff contenders? Can Weatherford, a playoff team last year that had promise, and they return a lot of guys, like you have said, on both sides of the football, offensive line, defensive line. What else, though, is there? They do return their quarterback, and they don't?
No.
I read that they did.
I read that they did, too, but that's not right.
That is wrong.
Yeah, Noah Wald was a quarterback.
You think the reporting at a certain publication would know how to report on
they got the guy,
somebody outside of the Oklahoma County area?
They got the right name, but he was not the quarterback.
Wow. Well, I'd love to throw this publication under the bus, but they might take away our sign-in privileges, so... Well, thanks for making me sound dumb, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I should have said that because when I read that, I was like, "That's not right." He was not the quarterback last year. Well, now he was the guy.
I'm going to throw that away and throw their paper away while I'm at it.
He was the guy that made every tackle against us in the second half. I can tell you, I remember that. Number 9, linebacker.
But seriously, though, can Weatherford expand on what they did last year? And we'll find out real quick. I don't think you could take one game and go, that's what their season's going to look like. But Lawton Mac's no slouch. They always have athletes, so we'll see what happens tonight with them. And right here in Elk City, a lot of speed, I think. We're going to see a lot of speed on the field, skill-wise. You've alluded to that. I think who's taking the snaps, Talaferro. I think another year in, he's going to get stronger and smarter and better. So I think he might be a little undervalued when it comes to this district in quarterback play. I thought the kid was an athlete as soon as you saw him on the field. And interested to see what that looks like tomorrow night against Shawnee. And then the big question is who makes playoffs, and in what order. I think the district, honestly, is wide open to win it. And there's about 5 schools that can.
I still haven't decided.
I know, it's hard.
I've written all this stuff down. I mean, my paper is just littered with all kinds of writing, except for that one question. To me, my questions are, is there a contender? Is there, say, a semifinalist in the district? I think it's really hard preseason to answer that question is yes. I just do. But that doesn't mean that, some question marks if it's, Weatherford has a new quarterback and it's going to start out being Callan Clift. Can he, grow into that role? Mm-hmm. Last year, Wald, he threw it effectively, but not a lot. I mean, especially, the game we saw, it was just kind of him and maybe some jet sweep here and there, but, using his legs and that offensive line. I mean, I think that's the one part of the game that I think that Weatherford has that Elk City and Clinton are looking for, to where even if your quarterback play isn't at the top of the district, you can still get it done with the big guys in the trenches. And I think that is a massive advantage for Weatherford going in with the guys they return. And, as we always see this, you start out, people are throwing it around, but once it gets into November, it gets colder, the weather's who knows what in Oklahoma for those quarterfinal, semifinal games. Being able to just ground and pound and just grind one out 14-10, that's what's made Clinton so good for so many years. Yeah. Even when they weren't busting the long runs that they might in September and October, they're still able to grind out wins, play good defense, and keep the score down. To where one big play or one mistake a lot of times by somebody else could have a, could be the difference in the game. So is there a contender? How will the I-40 schools, I feel like everybody's got questions. How will they improve on maybe what we perceive deficiencies to start the season? Who improves, how they improve? And I think that'll go a long ways into deciding who is the district champ. And then I looked these numbers up. I think even you and I maybe over the last 5 years, the perception of District 1 versus District 2 leans, I would almost say heavily, District 2's way outside of Elgin. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What do you think the record is the last 5 years in the first round of the playoffs between 4A1 and 4A2?
Well, I know Clinton had that upset win over Blanchard. The district has shifted, the participation-wise. I would assume 4A1 has fared well.
See, I think a lot of people.
By the way you pose that question.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would figure District 2 has dominated in the first round over the last 5 years. It's split every year except for 2023. And in 2023, it was us. Lost to Newcastle that year at home. And that's why it's not exactly tied. Over the last, now, 2021, we went on the road to meet Cushing, but Blanchard went on the road to meet Bethany when they were in our district back then. There's been the Clinton upset of Blanchard. There was then, somebody else in our district lost a home game, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's been just one game advantage, and I think that would kind of surprise people when you just pose that question. Having said that, with Elgin the last 2 years, the Big Elks back in 21 and that upset, and then 2022 as the district champ. Clinton the next year. I think they were the only one that won in 23 actually. It may have been Bethany that upset Weatherford that year. In 23, no, it was us. Anyway, but yeah, just one game difference. How many teams do you think can make the playoffs? Legitimately have a chance to make the playoffs?
I think I showed my hand. I said 5.
5? Who? See, I've got 5 too, but I don't know if we're going to have the same teams.
Aaron, I might almost say 6. I will say 6. Everybody but Woodward.
So yeah, I think Woodward is one of the 5.
Wow, really?
Oh yeah.
We're not hurt. They're not listening to us yet.
No, I think they're.
I might change my opinion on Tuesday.
I think they're absolutely one of the 5.
This district though, man, it's just, man. Outside of Douglas, okay, yeah, take Douglas out. Excuse me.
I'd take Bethany out too.
5, 6.
I don't think Bethany makes the playoffs.
You don't like Bethany?
Nope. I do not.
Man, it's a very, very interesting district. I said it like last week. You got to be ready every game.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's Weatherford, Clinton, Elk City, Cache, and Woodward that can make the playoffs. Go back and look at Woodward last year. How much better they got through the season.
Yeah, they did.
A few turnovers just demoralized them in some games. They should have beat Weatherford. They should have beat Clinton.
They should have beat Clinton.
They should have that game.
A lot of shouldas up there.
It was.
Shoulda, woulda.
But here's the deal. That's a lot better than it has been. There hasn't been any shoulda, woulda for a while
There's
up there.
a lot of it was over by halftime games.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Those dudes up front.
Schneeberger's changed that culture a little bit, I think.
Already.
Yes.
Those dudes up front on defense, which we'll talk about here in a second. We talk about players around the district. They were for real. To me, when we saw them.
Yeah, they had some size.
They were some good players. Speaking of, who are some guys you're looking forward to seeing around?
Last note on Woodward, I wonder if they're benefiting from, maybe some Moreland players, some Shattuck players. I don't know. I mean,
you know who's back at Shattuck?
Yeah,
Bullard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they're a top 10 team in
7, I believe.
Yeah.
In that B2 where it's kind of up for grabs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Intriguing players, you say? You ask? Right here in Elk City, I mentioned Taliaferro is intriguing. I don't know. I stay with the quarterback Powell over at Clinton. Different offense, same quarterback. Are they going to let him fly? Unleash him. It's totally opposite of how his brother ran it. His brother would just run right at you. Now you're asking the younger Powell to throw it around you. But I bet you there's still going to be mixed in some quarterback draws. They'll spread you out, then they'll find a gap. I'm just trying to think some names. I mean, I think of players or like positions. Pretty much the entire the big guys up front at Weatherford. Who do you got written down? Oh, and then the running back at Cash.
Kenyon Sweat.
Sweat, yes. Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. I was struggling there.
Yeah, Kenyon Sweat. Did he get offered by OU? He's in that mix, at least. Supposedly a 4.3-ish 40.
By the way, are they, incredibly underrated according to this poll?
1,000,000% in my mind.
What were they, around the 20s?
They're 23rd.
Oh, man, that's incredibly underrated.
He's like 1,600 yards last year, all-purpose, 17 touchdowns. I mean, if you go back and I know watching the games before that first district game where Elk City went down there, it's what you saw was him just blazing down the field from anywhere.
You held your breath. I describe kids like that. He's a hold your breath kind of guy. He gets the ball, hold your breath. He's either going to go. If he gets that edge, forget about it.
And when you're down there, you're on the edge of your bleacher doing the games. But Kenyon Sweat,
hopefully not raining like it is now.
Kenyon Sweat for sure. I mean, I think if you just talked about best player in the district from a skill position standpoint, he's right up there.
Might be the best player.
Yeah, Easton Powell, quarterback at Clinton. I think that if you look at, to me, the advantage that Clinton has over the two I-40 schools, at least going in, is that established, in the pedigree there. Right here, Rosiah, if he can be healthy as a freshman, man, he was on his way to doing some great things. I think if you look back at that film against Cash, a lot of the reason why the Elks had so much success keeping Kenyon Sweat bottled up on those jet sweeps and whatnot was because Rosiah was right there to make the tackle. Denny mentioned it tons of times last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Just for a freshman, the IQ, the football IQ, knowing where to be, when to be, and how to be there when you got there was really high level. So hopefully he'd be out there doing what he's doing. Over at Weatherford, a guy that we saw hurt us a little bit outside of Wald was Jacoby Flynn. He's kind of a Kenyon Sweat type player. Slot, can run it, catch it, fast. And then up at Woodward, the two big guys in the middle of that defensive line was Bowen Morton and Levi Harris. I mean, we called their names so many times last year in that game. Just constantly clogging things up the middle. And so those guys, you start with a pair of D tackles like that defensively, it makes everybody else's job a whole heck of a lot easier on that defense. So that's kind of the guys that I would look at as far as the kind of the headliners coming in 4A1. All right, how will it finish?
I will go with. Hold on, let me check one thing on the schedule. Ooh, man. I will go with. See, all what we're getting on the text line is giving me pause about Weatherford. Because I thought I had that figured out until the Oklahomans steered me wrong. Let's go with Weatherford. Let's go with Clinton, Elk City, Cache as my 4. And right outside, I'm not ready to go to Woodward yet. I'll say Bethany, Woodward, Douglas.
If this computer will allow me, I want to look up where.
Crash City?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know the one advantage that the Elks have over everybody else is the 3, what you would think of as the biggest games, are right here.
See, I went schedule too, so I was looking like, for instance, Weatherford is at Cache week 9. That could wound up being a big game.
What is that?
Wind up being a big game.
Weatherford at Cache?
Mm-hmm.
That could be a district title game.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Clinton right here that same night, I believe.
Yes, it's week 9.
Could be the same thing. Man, I'm going to take Weatherford too, just because of the big guys up front and figuring it out as the season rolls along.
They can be just because of that alone. Mm-hmm. You really don't. I mean, you could just have a capable quarterback and just ball control.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
they churn out 4 yards a carry, 3.5, 4 yards a carry, a play.
And Clift,
ball control,
starting out as the quarterback, but his impact is massive on the defensive side as well. I'll take us at second just because of the home games. Win 2 out of those 3.
Yeah.
And I'll go Clinton, and then I'll go Cache. But I really, really, really want to pick I want to do 2 things. I really want to do 2 things. One, I want to pick Cache to win the district. I just don't trust them. When you see these teams walk out there, they look like the best one.
Uh-huh.
Athletically, they just do. But something has been holding them back. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It just hadn't quite all the way clicked. They made the playoffs last year, right? Yeah, they did. Didn't they?
Who?
Cache.
Believe so. They needed to beat Clinton.
And they did.
And they did, kind of in dramatic
Did they end up
fashion.
second? No. They didn't make it.
They did not make it.
No, they did not make it. Because it was Elgin, Weatherford, us, Clinton, Elk City, Clinton in the final. I think they might have tied, but they lost the tiebreaker somehow in there.
With us?
And I can't remember because everything got so jumbled up at the end with what happened over at Clinton.
Yeah, with the forfeit.
Yeah. That's who made it. Cache was just outside. So I'm going to put them in, but I want to pick them to win the district. I want to pick Woodward to make the playoffs. Right. Yeah, that's right. It was a monsoon down in Cache.
Yeah, and that was the night we were leaving Weatherford.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Yep.
So I'll go that way. But I almost put 5 names in a hat and just drew them out and wrote them down.
And again, that just tells us, I think what we knew is that 4A1 could be really wide open outside of maybe 1.5 teams, you know.
Maybe.
I mean, we're not really giving Douglas any credit here.
And who knows?
But who knows? And you don't like Bethany. I'm kind of on the outlier.
Bethany just lost their dudes.
Did they lose a lot of guys?
They lost a lot of dudes.
Okay, I didn't realize that. But
yeah.
They just do a thing where they just kind of go, oh, okay. They're still Bethany.
Yeah, Coach Arthur does a good job up there.
So,
sorry.
Again, wide open.
I think it's wide open.
Wide open. Scheduling matters, and where you're playing does matter.
I think so.
So, could be a fun year for 4A1.
All right, when we come back, we'll hurriedly pick state champions in each class. Skinny on Sports on a Boomtown Grill Thursday, 98.1 FM, The Sports Animal.
Looking for great food and a great night out? Head to Boomtown Bar and Grill in Elk City. You know the food is always top-notch at Boomtown, prepared just the way you like it. From hand-cut certified Angus steaks to specialty handcrafted pizzas, there's something for everyone. And the kitchen is open late. Make plans now for Saturday night and enjoy live music from Waylon Holly. Bring your friends, grab a table, and enjoy an evening of incredible food and live entertainment. Boomtown Bar and Grill in Elk City. Great food, great music, and a night you won't forget.
The Skinny on Sports.
Yeah! Coming on, yeah!
Welcome back, Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal, wrapping up a Boomtown Grill Thursday. It's been high school football-centric so far here today. One other name that I meant to mention when we were talking about names to watch. And you talked about Coach Powers. We've seen his offense at hooker. It spreads you out. It'll throw it, but a lot of times it spreads you out to run it. And I noticed the name on that on the roster that we saw on Facebook that I'm very familiar with because of the grade that he's in. He's in the same grade as Wyatt. He's now a sophomore. Trenier Collins. Watch out.
I didn't realize you moved back.
I'm just telling you right now, watch out. We've talked about, the last few years how Clinton hadn't had that name guy, you know what I mean, at the running back spot since probably what? Bryson Attrell?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
That guy might return that staple to the Clinton offense. I'm just telling you, that guy can get it. Absolutely get it. So that's one guy to watch. Young player. I mean, he can go when he gets the football in his hand.
Their schedule's interesting. Their non-district schedule's very, very interesting. They open with tomorrow, right, at Chandler.
Yeah. Did you see the Oklahomans pick for that one?
They predicted a blowout. They must think Chandler might not have a lot of people coming back. But then their home opener next week is against Blanchard. Speaking of 4A1 versus 4A2, could be a preview of a playoff game. Might be the first of two times they play each other. Then they're at Kingfisher, and they host 5A Durant.
That's good.
I mean, there's no cupcakes there.
No, that's a very good schedule.
If they come out of that like 3-1,
I'll be looking like an idiot.
And then we're all going to be going, uh-oh.
Oops.
And if that young man who you spoke of is part of the big reason why,
Trenier can get it, man.
We can be going, oh, boy.
He can get it. All right, let's go real quick through our state champs. Starting 6A1, the highest class. There's a bunch of teams, once again, feeling like an idiot. Could be feeling like an idiot with this choice, considering Bixby's won 8 in a row, 12 out of 13, something like that. I went old school on this one. I went Jinx.
Did you?
I did.
Did you?
I went Jinx.
For the record, I think Jinx loses tonight, but that's not indicative.
I think they probably do too.
It's not indicative of what I think their season will be. You went old school with Jinx. A lot of people like Owasso in this class. You can never turn. Don't forget about Union either. They're always going to be right there.
Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow. A lot of people like Mustang. I think Mustang could be a team
best in the West.
Best in the West, and then if you're, who knows after that. But it's Bixby until it's not Bixby. You see what I'm saying? You just can't. I know a lot of turnover there, but is it reload or rebuild? I think it's reload a little
17 new starters.
And like I said, does that mean okay? They're not the best in the nation now, but they're still the best in the state.
Yeah. All right, 6A2.
Choctaw. This has been a few years coming.
Yeah, they won 2 years ago, lost in the finals last year.
Got the tight end who's going to Notre Dame.
Is that Titus Hawk?
Yeah, cool name, by the way.
Yeah, they got some guys. I think they've got the name guys. A lot of people some would say Stillwater, but I was Choctaw as well. 5A, I mean, come on.
Again, it's Carl Albert till it's not Carl Albert.
See, this Bixby team reminds me of Carl Albert last year. Because a lot of people are saying, after that incredible class graduated out of Carl Albert, okay, this is the year. This is the year where they're gettable. They're 6 away from setting the all-time 11-man wins record. They're at 53 right now in a row. So last year wasn't the year to get them, and that just means these guys are older. Elijah Matthews, the running back, scored 44 rushing touchdowns last year. 44. That's a school record. You set school records at Carl Albert, you're doing something.
By the way, that 6 won't be easy.
No, they've got a good schedule.
Got a good schedule. That, and if you're counting
Guthrie?
ahead, they host Guthrie, but before that, Bishop McGuinness. They got Booker T. Washington hosting Booker T. They open with Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle's been building up. They've been getting a lot of players from that area, kind of like what Tuttle and Blanchard's been doing. They've been, getting some kids from Moore. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, they've got a good they've got a good schedule to start.
Yeah, I considered. Yes, Carl Albert, but I mentioned Bishop McGuinness, a local tie with Ryan Stringer there. He did well last year with runner-up, wasn't it? Yeah. So I don't know what they have coming back, but maybe a team to look at. Of course, Guthrie, a team to look at, but it's Carl Albert till it's not.
4A, this is where I went against the grain.
Yeah, you did.
I got Broken Bow.
I'm going with Tuttle. I know Broken Bow has probably 4A, if not the state's best athlete at that class, but
he has to stay healthy.
He has to stay healthy, and
he's not the biggest dude.
Tuttle has the best team in 4A.
The final, it can't be if the bracket's the way it would be the semifinal, but it might end up being like the 1999 BCS title game between Florida State and Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Where Virginia Tech obviously had the best player in Mike Vick. And what's crazy about that comparison is he reminds you of that when you watch him. He's left-handed, he's fast, can do everything. It might be and then Tuttle has like the next 10 best players. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll go with Broken Bow there. 3A.
I'll go to Jones. I'll say Jones.
That's where I went to. I was fascinated by watching Jamin Reed last year as a freshman at Altus.
You knew it was coming.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I watched him dunk it in 7th grade basketball or whatever it was. It was ridiculous. Yeah. The athlete that he is and just the fine-tuning, how much better he will get, how much stronger he'll get. Pretty good luxury for Jones to go from Mason Hansen as your quarterback a year ago, now having Jamin Reed for 3. It's a pretty good deal there at Jones. Considered
Heritage Hall, considered Perkins Tryon as well, but
no, wait. Wait. Is Sulphur in that class?
Sulphur. Yes.
Sulphur. Well, no. I got Sulphur.
You going Sulphur?
Yes. I got Sulphur.
I'm still sticking with Jones.
Yeah, I got Sulphur. 2A1. Now, this one is interesting.
I probably, like you did with 4A, I probably went against the grain here in 2A1.
What do you got?
Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Yeah, I went with Lincoln Christian.
That is the grain. No, you didn't go again. You went with it.
Okay.
A lot. I mean,
I figured everyone was picking Washington.
I picked Washington, but as I listened to more knowledgeable folks talk about Lincoln Christian the other night, mainly Bill Haston from the Tulsa World, he still contends that the Lincoln Christian teams of the last couple of years were so good that they could have competed with Elgin and Tuttle in 4A and maybe even Carl Albert in 5A. That's how good they were in 3A. So that is the grain dropping down. I'm going to go with Washington. And that may be wrong. All right, 2A2.
You start because I think I messed up. Go ahead.
Oh, I can't remember who's in 2A2.
Now we're getting into these multiple classes.
Well, and I can't look it up.
2A2, you got teams. I mean, Millwood's in 2A2, or do they bounce back? Davis is in 2A2.
I know. I picked Davis because I wanted Zach to stay on our good side. Davis, for sure.
I'm not finding anybody else other than Davis, to be quite honest.
Is Adair in that class? Adair?
Yes.
They were the defending champs, I think. I know that was one that was popular. A1.
Now we're getting into these classes where I'm like, what do we know? We know about Merritt. We know about Sayre. We know about, we know A1, District 1. But outside of that, I'll do it. Mangum.
Who else is in there?
It's their year.
Is it Tonkawa?
Tonkawa is in that. Yep, Tonkawa.
Tonkawa
is going to be. It's going to be. Was Pawhuska good this year? I don't know.
A2 was.
Mangum brought back so much though.
A2 Talahina.
Yeah. And only because you told me they were the Golden Tigers.
Yes.
If they were just the Tigers, I'd go somewhere else.
B1, I think I went Dewar.
Yeah. I considered Laverne. Laverne's in B1, right?
Mm-hmm. So is Sealing, so is Walika, so is Hollis.
That's that class. Yeah.
Man, Sealing lost a ton, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think they did.
So B2. B2 was the one where it was hard to figure it out. Who was left? With the exodus of B2 guys going to B1.
Right.
What's the rankings? I think I might have went Pond Creek Hunter. O'Keene maybe was up there.
O'Keene is considered a favorite. I like what you're saying about Texoma, but I'm not picking them to win state. I think Shattuck.
Is Pecola in that one?
I think Shattuck will be on the climb back.
Yeah, Shattuck coming back. Is Pecola B2? No, they're A something.
No, I went with O'Keene.
They may be A2.
I just kind of went with what everyone else said.
Or A1. And then let's see.
I wonder what Mountain View will look like this year.
I did too. That was one that moved up from C to B2. Mm-hmm. And then in Class C, Ryan, defending champ, lost their quarterback to Marlowe, Noah Torres, which obviously is going to hurt you in 8-man football. And so I went back to the old standby Tipton Tigers.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. By the way, Ryan and Tipton play on October 2nd. So that could go a long way into what we think could be a C2 or a C champion.
All right, that'll do it for today. It'll be game day here tomorrow. Garrison Financial Friday as well. Don't forget to get down to Boomtown Grill. 50-cent boneless chicken wing special all day today at the Boomtown Grill. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered to right. Way